What's up, guys? Are you ready to automatically succeed? That sounds pretty easy, right? Pretty simple. Well, you might be thinking it's a lot of hocus pocus, positive thinking, bull stuff, but hey, it's not. Like, this is scientifically proven stuff, and it's scientifically proven because it says we're reviewing the new Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell, Maltz, and today we are talking about activating what's known as the automatic success mechanism. And you might be like, whoa, give us a second. So last time we talked about self-image, and this is one of those themes to where you see it all over the place and you don't really recognize it until you've actually seen it and experienced it a few different ways. And this is something that you already inherently, instinctually know how to do. It's just a matter, like it's the figurative flipping of the light switch. So I think about this before I toss it over to Evans. I think about this whenever I train people to spar in kickboxing or do Brazilian jiu-jitsu, but specifically we'll talk about sparring. And I've been working with this lady, and I was telling her the other day, it's like you can just like see whenever people are like consciously thinking too much in a sparring session, and you're like, stop thinking, don't think. It's like what you want to do instead is you just want to have this outcome implanted in like the base part of your skull right here, and it's like we're playing the game of touch the face and not get touched in the face. That's the outcome that you want. Now, don't think, just go, boom. And whenever you do that and you free flow, your body just does these things. Like I experience this all the time whenever you just let go. Because I promise you, if you start thinking, it's like, when's that right hand coming? When's that right hand coming? Left hand, bah! It's just the way it happens when you get caught in thinking in your conscious mind. And as it turns out, there's an actual formula for this. So the part that comes from the conscious mind decision is that, or from the conscious mind is the decision, rather. So it's like you decide that you're going to do something. Your imagination communicates the goal or target to your self-image. So you see yourself winning. You see yourself doing these things, touching the face, slipping and rolling effortlessly out of the way of the punches. And then that equals a work order for your body to go on autopilot and do its thing. And in my experience, it really only takes like the one experience of doing it one time to really feel it and know it. So with that, I'm tossing it over to Evans and seeing what he has to say about this chapter today.
I love that. Actually, you made me remember hard to imagine this, people, but there was a time where I was a very, very good basketball player. But I remember in basketball practices, like at the beginning of every year, and I also coached basketball. I coached, excuse me, I am going to go ahead and pat myself on the back. Since I'm going to say this, I'll just show everybody I'm patting myself on the back, but I'm really not. But I coached some higher level athletes. One of them still plays professionally. He played in the NBA for probably, I think, 5 or 6 years. Now he's in China playing, but he's had like a 10-year career, done really well. And one thing I noticed, whether I was participating in these practices at the beginning of the year or whether I was a coach and coaching these practices at the beginning of the year, what Marty's talking about makes 100% sense, because in the beginning, everybody was moving a little bit like robots, trying to learn the new plays, learn where they needed to be, what they needed to do, what was the goal, what was the outcome of what we were trying to do, whether it was a different defense, a different offense, whatever. Then as you progress through the season, it became instinctive and you just flowed through it and everybody moved effortlessly, and performance improved dramatically because no longer were they thinking about every movement. Okay, where do I go next when I do this? What do I do next? Those goals had already been put out there. They had already imagined themselves and gone through the process of doing it, so that they were just doing it on autopilot. So similar to what it was an automatic success mechanism. Basically, it was giving them success automatically in achieving the desired goal because we had practiced it. We also taught them to practice it mentally as well. And you hear this a lot with athletes. I'm sure plenty of people here have done it themselves, but you hear about professional athletes, you know, the night before a game, visualizing the outcome of that game in their mind, and how, not just that, oh, we're going to win, but this is how I'm going to participate in this thing that's happening that has not happened yet, but they are creating it in their mind. They're creating the successful outcome. So I found that very interesting. And that just took me down a path that I wasn't even expecting to talk about. But I want to throw out one more thing, because I think this is very important. And we talked a little bit about it about 3 episodes ago, I think, before we even got into this book. So go back and listen if you would, if you want to find out more. But I call it the process of doing more nothing. And I love doing more nothing. And I'm not talking about just being lazy, laying around with Netflix. In my case, I just found out today that they're putting Seinfeld, every Seinfeld episode on Netflix, and giving Friends the boot. So my 8-year-old daughter is going to love that because her favorite thing is to watch Seinfeld with me. Even though she has no idea what's going on, she just thinks I act crazy. And she sees me laugh, so that makes me feel good that she wants to see me laugh. But anyway, I'm not talking about that kind of lazy. I'm talking about doing more nothing by when you have a problem in mind and you seem to be running up against a wall and you can't figure it out. You have something in here that will figure it out for you if you give it the opportunity. And the only way to give it that opportunity is to shut off everything else and do more nothing. You know, go out for a run, go hit the gym for a good hard workout. During that workout, it's amazing. I mean, I have more of my best ideas when I'm in the middle of a workout than any other time because I'm focused on other things. I'm letting this automatic success mechanism bring the answers forward. So that's what I mean by do more nothing. One thing that I like to do now is I will leave. The weather's still nice. We were just talking about this. It's fall and it's 90 something degrees here at the coast, but I will go out if I'm stuck, whether it's writing, coming up with copy for my funnels, coming up with ideas for a podcast, whatever it is, coming up with new workout routines for my clients. I'll just go over here to our little basketball court and go out there with my ball and take my phone, go shoot hoops. And if things come to mind while I'm doing more nothing, I'm still doing something, but it's nothing with the brain work. Then I just grab my phone, open up the notes app, push record, spit it out, leave it alone, go do more nothing, come back with another solution. So I found that's an amazing way to solve a lot of problems.
For sure. Like there's so much in that. Like it just the changing physical locations, changing what you're physically doing allows those answers to literally bubble up from your subconscious, and all of a sudden, like, it's there while you're in the middle of that rep or while you're in the middle of that sparring session or whatever it may be. And so, just fair warning, I forgot to hit the timer button here until a few minutes in, but that's okay.
I did.
Oh.
I think we have. I think I may have been a little late too, but yeah. So.
But I mean, it's our show. We can cheat and go a little overboard because I love talking about this stuff. Anyway.
And I will say though, if you look at what we talked about in the previous episode, each one of these is a building block. So you have to have the right self-image, which we discussed. If you want to go back and learn more about that previous episode, you use that. Once you have that foundation, then you can move into what Marty was talking about, you know, and visualizing the goal, seeing it in your mind, remembering how you've done it before. Because that's something that I wanted to say real quick before we run out of time. There's something in here that's like very simple, but very just, it's like, why did I not think of that? Think of all the times you've been successful before doing everything that you've done. You learned to walk. You learned to talk as a child. You've learned, you know, you have helped other people succeed at their goals and their dreams as a health and wellness trainer. you've been successful. I mean, you've been successful getting out of bed and fixing breakfast. That's a success, you know.
You're here listening right now.
Yes. I mean, those are successes. Those show you that you have the power within you to be successful, that we are created, as I believe it says in here, we are created as successful creatures. We have that innate ability that we are made to succeed. So remember that.
So with that, I wanted to share this little 5-step process that's at the end of this chapter and like relate it, because I talk about this all the time, and I don't really realize I'm doing it at the time, but it to me, like, I mean, I love to teach fitness kickboxing. Like these soccer moms and older ladies that, you know, like come in there and they're like scared to death at first and like barely afraid to hit a heavy bag, and then before too long they start falling in love with it and start moving around and actually doing kickboxing in a safe way. But it's like I talked about earlier, it's like step number 1, you have to paint the target in your mind. You have to like know what that outcome is, and it has to be the one that you want. We talked about that a lot last time. Secondly, it's like you have to trust that you are eventually going to do the right things. You have to trust your coaches. You have to trust your mentors and trust the path that's been proven and laid out before. You know, as you learn like the punching techniques, and you learn the slips and the rolls and how to use your hips and how not to bend your back and all that stuff. Like we take the time during class to like really focus in on like make sure your ankle's over your foot, your knees over your ankle, and then your hips over your knee, and you're turning and moving from the hips. I make them go slow and thoughtful during the class where we're like learning these things, and it's like, now forget all that stuff and go on autopilot and relax, because that's usually like the next problem, you know, especially when you have something like fists flying at your face. Most people find it pretty hard to relax whenever that's happening the first couple of times. But you keep doing it. You keep showing up, and you learn to get comfortable being uncomfortable with that coming on. And just know that if you accept what's happening for what it is, like it's actual feedback and learning, it's like, you know, if you're sparring intelligently, all you're doing is getting feedback. You're like, that was feedback enough. Like, I get that I just got punched. Like, we're not trying to knock each other out. It's like, got punched. And you're like, your subconscious remembers that stuff. It's like, whenever he was there and I was here and I moved like this, I got hit. And it's like, you're not thinking about that subconsciously, but your subconscious remembers that. And the next time you're like, oh, I got out of the way. Like, and I didn't even think about it. And then it's like, lastly, it's like, just fire. Just start doing it. You know, that's it. So just to re-go over real quick, like paint the target, trust the process, relax, learn from it, and do it. Fire away, baby. So if you guys are ready to do that, and with that, we're going to call it time. Now, if you have the desire, if you aim to have a successful online health and wellness business, we can help you. But I just got to tell you, like, if you don't have the desire, if you are intent on focusing on, I don't want that kind of health and wellness business. I don't want to be that kind of coach. I don't want to be this. But if you have the desire, and if you're willing to trust us and relax and just learn from it and do it, we have good news for you. We have a free group called Online Health and Wellness Business Heroes, and we are massively over delivering some stuff. So Evans, tell us a little bit about what's going on in there.
Oh, it's great. I mean, there will be videos like these teaching mindset, belief, really important piece of the puzzle that I think a lot of other online business gurus are leaving out of the process, but it's very important, not just for your clients, but for yourself. So we've got a lot of that in there. We've got training on how to do stories. We've got training on how to build your funnels. We've actually got an awesome third member who we never really see or hear from on these podcasts. We're going to have to do a
we're gonna have to bring
for
Brittany.
lack of better words, a threesome podcast.
We got to bring Brittany on here because she's
Brittany is amazing, and she's put together some training that's going to show you how to build your online funnels really quickly using ClickFunnels, and that's free training. That is, I don't even know the value on that. I would pay a lot for it. I know that much, but there's going to be so much information in there. And if you're going through the One Funnel Away challenge, which we hope you will do, and we will help you get hooked up with that, Marty goes through that day by day and actually up levels that, speeds it up, accelerates your success. I guess that's what you're doing, right? You're helping them just find the one core thing and just go out there, ready, aim, fire, and do it.
I am going in, and like there's this concept. I don't know if we talked about it a lot here recently, but it's called technobabble. And while Russell and everyone at ClickFunnels does a really great job of boiling it down to a spot where it's not so overwhelming, there's still a part of it that if I had to go back, I could boil it down and make it even simpler and give it specifically to a health and wellness coach. That's what I'm doing. I'm like,
yes,
this is the thing. This is what you do. Go.
I mean, guys, we pay over the past couple of years. We've been in the Two Comma Club coaching program. We've invested, close to $40,000, $50,000 in this program to learn from the absolute best in online marketing and sales. And what we're doing is taking all of that, and like Marty said, instead of just giving it to you in generic terms, we're taking it, boiling it down to the things that you need to know as a health and wellness coach, trainer, entrepreneur, right? So we're taking all that know-how from these people, and you're getting it in our group for free. Yes, for now. Just remember that, for now. The group is free for now, so I would go ahead and take action, get in the group, and join us and come on this journey. Trust the process. We're not going to lead you wrong. We've all been in that business, and Marty still teaches. And I mean, this is getting me so jacked up, I want to go out and start training again. So who knows? So you may see me back in the gym again, training people as well, or more likely online training them where I can leverage my time and make a lot of money. But either way, come join us. We'd love to have you.
And for sure, up until this point, there is at least minimum $1,500 worth of value in that group, and you get it today for free. And like you can try us if you want to, but I promise you that it's going to be paid information very, very soon, at least $1,500 worth of it. So jump on it now while it's free.
Yes, definitely. And how do you get it?
Go to facebook.com/groups/gear it up, or you can click the link in the description.
Yes. And we'll see you there. Brittany would love to see you there as well. We're going to bring her on the podcast now that we've mentioned it, I think at least twice. So she's coming on here pretty soon.
Yep. All right.
Everybody evolve.
Yeah. There's only one thing left to do. And Evans just said it. We're out of here. See ya.